All right, welcome back to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. This is the Attack the Rack daily lineup show with Trent and Big Mo. Today is Wednesday, July the 17th, 2024. Last night, Major League Baseball had its Midsummer Classic, the All-Star Game. Um, probably when you look at the other major sports, probably still the best of the All-Star games, at least where it actually resembles the actual sport itself. Um, but as we mentioned yesterday on the show, none of us were planning on tuning in at all. Trent, did you end up not tuning in at all?
I did not. I saw a highlight of Otani's home run
Yeah,
that he crushed that. But other than that, I didn't see any of it. Do you know if they still play for home field advantage
I
for like
think
World
somebody
Series?
commented when we talked about that on a show last week, I think, or maybe Big Mo and I talked about it on the podcast. I can't remember, but somebody commented that they don't anymore. So,
Oh,
but we could fact check that.
yeah. I feel like it's hard for baseball to like not try as hard, especially for if you were being a pitcher. Like
Yeah,
if you're not gonna go up there and just throw a bunch of meatballs over the plate and
yeah.
try to make it look like an all-star game, like the NBA style. I
No,
think
that's
it's
a good
too
point.
hard. It's too hard to not try in baseball because
Right.
it's such like an individualized sport, but as well as a team sport, long run wise. So I think it'd be hard to just go out there and not try very hard.
No, exactly. I think that's a great point. If you did, you would, if you're a hitter and you're trying to be funny, well, you're going to strike out and then you're going to look like an idiot.
Right.
Um, Whereas if you're shooting half quarters in an NBA All-Star game, it's like you're not expected to make a half court shot anyway.
Yeah. So it's
Uh,
just kind of like whatever.
right.
Yeah.
Big Mo, did you stick to your guns and not tune in, or were you just couldn't help yourself?
No, I did not tune in, and I rewatched The Last Castle with Robert Redford.
Oh, nice.
I
Nice.
found that to be more enjoyable.
Did you
Try
have that on? Did you have that on VHS, Big Mo?
I probably have it on VHS, but I was able to find it on my Roku.
Okay.
we should put a time frame on when Trent has to watch The Natural, Big Mo. Uh,
Okay.
maybe by maybe by August 1, Trent, you got to find the time to watch The Natural.
The natural. All right.
You will not be disappointed. I hope.
I gotta watch both of those now.
Yeah, no, you should. You
Yeah, and
should.
I got to watch The Castle too.
Last Castle, The Last Castle.
Last Castle. All right, I got you. I got you.
I gotta figure out where to watch them now.
I forget where I watched it last night. It was free though. I didn't have to rent it.
Sometimes you can find movies just on regular YouTube for free. Went back and watched a couple weeks ago the Pistol Pete movie, Birth of a Legend.
Oh,
Just on regular YouTube.
Yeah, on regular YouTube. Like
Oh,
what
all
do you have? I mean, Kurt, you got Roku.
yeah.
Trent, Roku, what do you use?
no, I have a problem with how many streaming services there are.
Huh.
Yeah.
Uh, it's an issue. The major problem that I have is
Like you
deciding
you
which.
refuse to pay for some streaming issues, or
Well, I refuse to pay for like pay-per-view fights,
oh yeah.
like UFC and boxing and those. I find I have a website for those.
Well,
Um,
I got a guy. I got a guy
I
for
got
that.
I got a guy who runs a website for that. But like streaming service wise, there's always like they have two or three like super good shows on the streaming service, and then the rest is just like stuff I really wouldn't watch. So like it's hard for me to pick between like Netflix or Hulu or like Amazon Prime. They have their own streaming thing now, so there's just so many different options that all will cost you $15 a month to watch it. I use YouTube TV. I just split it with a couple guys, but now that there's no sports on, I cancel it once NBA is done, and then I start it once college football starts again.
Hmm. There
Yeah.
are a lot of them. There are a lot. I can't remember which. I just search my Roku and
Yeah.
find the free. If I want
Okay.
to watch a movie, I just find it free somewhere. Otherwise, I don't watch it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, the way I navigate the streaming services is like if something I really want to watch comes out on Netflix, then I'll get Netflix, but I'll just get it for the month and I'll watch what I want and then I'll cancel it. So I kind of rotate between Netflix or Hulu,
Okay.
or even HBO, like coming up here with Hard Knocks. So for August, I'll get Hard Knocks, but then I'll cancel, make sure I cancel Netflix in time, so I'm only got one for that month. And then if anything does come out on Netflix in August that I want to watch, I'll watch it in September when I cancel HBO. So
Yeah. Yeah. Because I've been debating rewatching Game of Thrones, and that's on HBO. So
yeah,
that would be the only reason I would get that. But I guess that makes sense. That's a good way to do it. Just watch it till you finish it and then move on to the next one.
yeah, yeah.
I have never watched an episode of Game of Thrones.
I haven't either.
Do you like that kind of like style, I guess? Like,
I just I've got Apple right now because I've got like 4 months free.
okay.
I just tried to start watching like a Viking one that they've got on there, Viking Valhalla or something like that. So it didn't really draw me in the first episode, but usually it takes a couple to get you rolling. So
Yeah. The hard part is like trying to remember the people's names and like, because Game of Thrones throws you around to all these different, just like villages and stuff. And it's so hard to remember from who they're all with and who they don't like and who they do like. And it's hard to keep that all straight.
All right, well, back to the All-Star game. The I do have one question for you guys yet too with the All-Star game. AL won 5-3, American League won 5-3. Yes, as Trent mentioned, Shohei Ohtani blasted a three-run home run. That was all the scoring the National League got, but they did go up 3-0, and then the AL battled back five unanswered runs, capped off with a home run by who ended up getting MVP of the game, Jaron Duran. So, and then I guess just one other thing to mention: superstar rookie pitcher Paul Skinnis. Is that how you say his name? Skinnis from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He started rookie, started for the NL, pitched one scoreless inning, did have a walk, no hits. I'm wondering about this guy. I wonder what the Pirates are going to do with him. In this era of baseball, you see them really limiting pitch counts, and in fact, I think within the last week, he had a no hitter going into the seventh, but he had got to like 99 pitches, and so they took him out. Right now, the Pittsburgh Pirates are a game and a half out of first place, so they're still, or not in first place. Sorry, they're way out of first place. A game and a half out of the wild card. So it'd be interesting to see how long do they kind of ride him, hoping to maybe still get a wild card spot, and at what point, like once they get to 5 games out, then do they decide to shut him down, or don't they shut him down at all?
Yeah, I don't think they'll shut them down just because I feel like they're finally in a spot of where they're kind of competing to get into the playoffs. I think it's been a while for Pittsburgh in that era, so I think they're just probably stretch them out. I don't know how long rookie contracts last in the MLB, if it's kind of like the NFL thing where you get them for 4 years or whatever. But I would just ride him out until you have to pay him. If he, I mean, if he continues to be as good as he is, he's probably going to be a 300 million guy. So it's just depends if you have that cap or if your team is young enough to try to build around that and make that work. But I wouldn't shut him down.
Yeah, no, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, some teams kind of got that philosophy, other teams really don't. So, but I
Yeah.
would definitely say as long as they stay within a couple games of the wild card, maybe within 5 games of the wild card, I don't know why they would even think about it. So,
Yeah.
well, here's an interesting thing today. So tough to kind of come up with some topics. Today is one of only 2 days in the entire year where there is not one of the four sports, no games from one of the four major sports. So, but with that being said, guys, I think we can officially bring football to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. I think we are getting close enough. I think we can start talking some football here and there. Football is right around the corner. HBO Hard Knocks, we mentioned that earlier with Chicago Bears this year. That opening episode just 20 days away. Only 15 days away from the first NFL preseason game and 38 days away from the first college football games. NFL, college football, Big Mo. I know you love both. Which one would you say you're maybe a little bit more of a fan of?
Wow. 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 Man. NFL.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 I don't think there's a big, I think they're both, those are probably what the two top kind of sporting events right now. I mean, I would, so I'm an aim for the NFL just for the fact that it's, yeah, just a little easier to watch, probably. Not as many teams collegiately all happening at once and not the same powerhouses every year. There's at least a little bit of a competitive advantage.
yeah, fair enough. Makes sense. Trent.
I'm more of a college football fan than NFL. Um, I don't know if it's because the number of games or I do love college atmosphere. I think that kind of sets them apart from NFL. Um, that kind of draws me into it. Plus, you're putting your faith into the 18 and 19-year-olds to make the right play, which is makes it always pretty interesting. I'm a college fan.
Yeah. No, you brought up a great point with the atmosphere. So on those college campuses, it's pretty incredible. I think the only reason I would slightly lean NFL is just because of fantasy football. I'm a huge
Okay.
fantasy football. I think the fantasy football league now, that I'm in now, we're on like year 28. Uh,
Wow.
Trent, that's where you can add in your famous line. You guys are old.
You guys are old.
Uh, um, so I think that's the only reason. Just the I would give it a slight edge because of fantasy football. But great time to plug coming this NFL season again. We've got our NFL pick show with Chad Zagar and Peter Hunsberger each week. Sunday mornings, upload a pick show where they each pick three NFL games for you. And then also Pete puts on his prop bet Pete hat and gives three prop bets each and every week. So look forward to that. First episode will be Sunday morning of week one, whatever that is. And then big topic kind of today, Brendan Aiyuk, wide receiver, San Francisco 49ers. Apparently he's not happy with his contract. I think he's seen some of the other wide receivers getting some pretty big contracts, and now he feels like, well, now I should get paid more. Um, he is pretty solid, obviously, on a team that went to the to the Super Bowl last year. There's been a few teams thrown out that at least could maybe take him on based on salary cap. The Detroit Lions being one of them. Big Mo, would you, as a Lions fan, welcome Brandon Aiyuk to the um, to the team? Big Mo, you froze.
Yeah, back now. Sorry.
Oh, that's yeah. Did you
I'm
hear the
not
question?
sure what I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, well, you're good now.
Okay, roll it.
Did you hear the question?
Something by Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, Lions are one of the teams that could at least take him on based on salary cap. What do you think?
I doubt it. I doubt they will. I mean, I think sound. I think San Francisco keeps him. They find a way to work it out, whether it's just for the year. Obviously, he's got the year remaining in his contract. And I think the destination point, though, that he wants is what Washington kind of get reunited back with his quarterback,
Okay.
college quarterback. So I I think it'd be awesome if the Lions got him. They probably have to trade one of their up and coming receivers along with some draft picks, but um, I think he stays in San Francisco, top destination, Washington.
All right. Trent, would you welcome him over to the Lions?
Yeah, I mean, I would take him if he wanted to be on the Lions. I think it depends on what he wants his role to be because he's not going to be number one. And potentially, if Jameson Williams has a good year, then he's probably not going to be number two option either. So it would, and then you got Laporta, who is probably third option. So I don't know where he would fit in if he was okay with getting less, like thrown two attempts, I guess.
Which is what he's struggling with in San Fran right now, right?
Right. So if he's mad that he's not getting enough touches, then I don't think he'd be too thrilled in Detroit um, when we got five guys that are pretty electric around golf.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would agree.
especially the way we want to run it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Gibbs was very good last year. I just think there's a lot of pieces that you hope that only improve throughout the year for the Lions having those young guys. I guess. I mean, I would take him for sure. He's a good player. Just depends if he would want that type of role with the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one football. I don't think it would probably be a good fit. Um, and then to pay him, yes, again, one of the reasons the Lions get brought up is because they are a team that could take on a big salary. But I mean, I think they need to put money into defense. I think they put
Yeah,
enough money into offense. Obviously, Goff is he what the number two highest paid quarterback? I think he's got a huge contract. Amon Ross St. Brown signed a huge contract. Two of their offensive linemen are two of the highest paid in the NFL. They've got a lot of money on the offensive side of the ball, and if
yeah.
you're gonna spend some money, it should be on the defensive side of the ball.
Well,
So
they added I think he's a defensive tackle, Reader, the big boy.
yeah,
They added him, and then they got the one of the secondary guys from Tampa Bay, I believe, as well. So I think they added a couple of defensive pieces as well, which is good. The secondary is it's always been the issue. I feel like it's for the Lions is the secondary. So
yeah.
I think if they can tighten that up a little bit, they you could see them in the Super Bowl potentially.
No, I agree. I agree. And then speaking of NFL, moving to the quarterback position, ESPN, they're starting to release their position rankings. They have released their top 10 quarterbacks. The way they do it is they poll a bunch of their NFL analysts and then they compile that into one ranking. So first of all, let's go through the list here. Patrick Mahomes, no surprise, number one. Joe Burrow, number two. Josh Allen, number three. Lamar Jackson, number four. Matthew Stafford, number five. Justin Herbert, number six. CJ Stroud, number seven. Aaron Rodgers, number eight. Jared Goff, number nine. And then Dak Prescott, number 10. Anything, first of all, jump out at you when you see that list, Trent? Good or bad? Or
Um,
agree or disagree?
I would probably slide Herbert out of there. Um, then again, who do I replace him with? That's the real question. I don't know who I would replace him with. The other ones, I don't know. I guess Dak you can keep at 10.
Okay.
He hasn't done a whole lot since he been in Dallas. Um, Burrow, he was hurt last year, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good fit for him though. And Allen. Allen's gonna have to put the team on his back this year for them to win any games.
Yeah.
Because Diggs is gone, right?
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Oh, where did he go? Shoot, where did he go?
I forget.
I forgot too. Oh, did he
Yeah, I
go?
guess.
Was it Cincinnati
Oh, did he?
or Houston? Houston. I think it
Oh
was
yeah,
Houston.
with
Yeah.
CJ. They're gonna be
Yeah.
their offense is really good.
Yeah, they've got already got some good receivers.
Yeah, just for the list, just switch me Goff and Herbert. Just flip those.
Okay.
I think Goff has earned his stripes.
Yeah.
I think he deserves. I mean, he's not like the most electric. He's not going to make like flashy plays, but if you want a nice fundamental quarterback, that's your guy.
Yeah, I think Herbert, like you mentioned, you mentioned him maybe a little bit high at 6. What's crazy is that if you would have done this going into last season, I wish I would have known where he was at. I bet he was probably higher than 6 last year, and he just
Yeah,
didn't have the greatest season. Some of that was just that team was a nightmare. Um,
you'll never know. With the great coach that they just got, he
yeah,
might he might
new
he might
favorite.
he might turn it around.
Yeah, I was going to bump him up to the top three. I think by the end of the year, he's in the top three. I think, and probably not just because of the coach, but I think they're not going to have a very good defense. But they did get better on the line, and they're going to run it more. But when you do that, I think that's going to open up the throwing. And your defense is awful, so I think he's going to be able to put points on the board, stat wise, climb
Yeah,
that ladder. So I'd probably bump him up. I think Burrow is guy just so unreliable to be healthy. So, and I don't think Josh Allen is going to be all that he's been because he loses
hmm
someone like Diggs.
And he still had a good season last year, but not quite the Josh Allen we had seen, I think, the previous 2 seasons. But probably still fair for him in the top 5 somewhere.
yeah.
Uh,
He just doesn't have a ton of weapons. It's hard, like, and you see if you like catch a Bills game or whatever, it's like he tries to do everything he can to win the game, kind of like by himself, just running around and taking hits and just trying to keep plays alive and do that kind of thing, which for a guy his size is pretty impressive. They just Gabe Davis and Diggs didn't cut it.
yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I would. I'll go ahead. What are you going to say, Trent?
I was gonna say Lamar's an interesting one. They did get better this past year, but it's kind of that same. Some games he's really good. He beats you with your feet. I
Yeah.
know they destroyed the Lions because they couldn't stop him at all. Um, he just can break free from plays, and he's so fast. Obviously, his arm is his weak point, being able to throw the ball and the deep ball for sure. But I don't know. It's hard when the only guy that really has won on the list is Mahomes. I guess Rodgers. Does Rodgers have one or no?
Have a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one.
So like Mahomes and Rodgers. It's kind of the young. It's like a young pool with a sprinkle of
Stafford has one too.
Stafford.
Has one Super Bowl. But you're right.
I'm surprised he's still in the top five.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, I guess just simply like him at 5, Goff at 9. The Lions knocked the Rams out of the playoffs last year. Goff
Yeah.
in that game, Goff appeared to be the better quarterback. I mean, I honestly think in the last year, last season, second half of the season prior, I think Goff, you could make an argument for sure top 5 just based on the last year and a half.
Yeah.
I
I
think
agree.
The problem with
statistically, if you look straight at statistics, he might even be number 1.
It's just not flashy.
Right.
You
because
know.
it's not because it's all built around uh, Montgomery and is it Jameis
Gibbs.
Gibbs.
Gibbs? Yeah,
Yeah.
um, like I would have a hard time trusting Goff to go get me a win.
Okay.
You know, I don't, and I don't know golf at all. I have no idea. But when you watch him play, sometimes you're just like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah.
Whereas I think like some of those other quarterbacks, obviously they take more risk, and therefore they probably look a little more spectacular at times.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, no, for sure. The other one from a just straight stat stance, and I know this because he was on my fantasy team last year. CJ Stroud's numbers were insane last year. So from
Yeah.
a statistical standpoint, he could probably be higher, but obviously stats are not what you want to base this on. The only one I would say shouldn't be in the top 10 is probably Dak Prescott. Not sure who I would replace him with. I think you could look at Tua. I think you could look at Jalen Hurts, who obviously didn't have near the season last year that he did in 2022. Um, but I think outside of that, I like the guys they have in that list. I
What
would,
about Captain Kirk Cousins?
yeah, yeah, Kirk Cousins. Well,
Would you put Kirk Cousins over Dak Prescott?
I think I would rather at this juncture, I would rather have Kirk Cousins as my quarterback than Dak Prescott.
That's fair.
Yeah, we might need Dale to do some fact check, but hasn't like Dak Prescott been like 10-4? Like he's winning 10 games every year, man. He just can't win the big one.
Yeah, pretty. You're right about that. It just seems like it's just so quiet, you know. But
Well, and the expectations are always more
yes,
than probably what they
he
should be.
never meets the expectations that they have for him, you
No,
know.
but would anybody, unless you're winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's like you compare the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and if you look at like their records over the last X amount of years, very similar. They're both, always get to have a winning record, but yet like Mike Tomlin is put on this pedestal as this awesome coach, and then Mike McCarthy's like fighting for his job every year. But it's like they're like the exact same team. It's crazy. Um, and then I do want to just mention one thing, Lamar Jackson. So if you watch the Attack the Rack YouTube channel last year, our NFL content, I've always pretty harsh on Lamar Jackson because I think he relies on his feet too much. Awesome to watch, super entertaining. And if your fantasy football league is scored like ours, quarterback rushing touchdowns are worth a ton of points. So huge for fantasy football if your scoring system is like ours. But I just think he relies too much on his feet. And in the history of the NFL, as far as winning a Super Bowl, that style of play from a quarterback has never been successful. But I will say I do have to admit there were times last year where I think he's perfectly capable of throwing the ball well, and he definitely did pick up his passing last season. So, anything else though on that list, guys?
No, I think like if
Oh,
you look at it long, like all time, you got to move Rodgers up.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's great that they probably because he didn't play last year, they probably could have used that as an excuse to um, not even put him in the top 10. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
they did include him.
Could the Jets be good this year though?
Yeah, I think they can. I
well, he's
definitely,
going to stay healthy, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
he's got to stay healthy.
Tough,
That's the
tough to come
only.
back from Achilles. Tough to come back from the Achilles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cousins, he's got to do that too. So
Yeah. What about no Super Bowl champion on there?
I was going to say that too. Like, I don't think anyone from a skill standpoint, statistical standpoint, you'd want to put Brock Purdy in that top 10, but he went to the Super Bowl.
Is that Brock Purdy? Is it Kyle Shanahan's system? Is it all the great players around him?
Yeah.
Check down Purdy.
Hey,
We'll have to revisit that again come end of January, early February, and see what it looks like.
Impressive for him being Mr. Irrelevant to
That is incredible.
being a Super Bowl guy.
Incredible, yeah. Should give hope for any guys drafted, super low or even less. Like, hey, there's a chance. You still got a chance.
yeah,
Yeah.
even if you're drafted number 55 in the NBA, you got a chance.
Yeah. I don't know. You see Jalen Brown say
Yeah.
that he wasn't NBA ready.
Yes. And I
Now
think,
everyone's like jumping down his throat because of that. It's like, dude,
well,
just
number one, he's speaking the truth. Number two, they caught him in just a casual conversation. I mean, that's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's
Uh,
crazy.
all right, fellas. Well, hey, Caitlin Clark plays tonight. Maybe tune in for that. Otherwise, not a whole lot going on here, boys. But we're gonna keep plugging away, bringing the show each and every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Hey, quick shout out.
Oh,
Shout out.
Shout out Mama Klingler. Big
oh,
birthday today.
yeah!
Happy
Happy
There we
birthday.
go.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Woo!
birthday.
Hey, and then how about another quick shout out? Another hole in one.
No,
Ooh,
Jerry Root.
nice.
wow.
Trent, Big Mo. We will see you tomorrow.